Jadi just a bit of introduction untuk Moladin. Kayaknya Moladin belakangan ini kan banyak masuk news ya, for not so good news. Tapi just a bit of introduction for Moladin. Kita sebenarnya company yang bergerak di bidang otomotif, dan company-nya sudah ditemukan since 2018. Cuman memang Moladin sendiri have been through a pretty crazy journey with a lot of twists and turns. Jadi yang sempat hampir bangkrut ya di 2021, akhirnya kita menemukan sebuah product market fit di bidang otomotif yang lebih fokusnya itu di B2B. Jadi mungkin kan kalau kebanyakan otomotif tech di luar sana, they're focusing on B2C. Jadi seperti Karsam, Karo, OLX, ataupun mungkin success story yang sekarang juga tidak menjadi success story yaitu Carvana di US, semuanya bergerak di bidang B2C. Nah kalau Moladin sendiri di 2021 itu kita bergerak di sektor mobil bekas, tetapi rather than going straight into B2C, kita lebih mengempower dan fokus our product and tech efforts on digitalizing maklar-maklar atau agen-agen dan dealer rumahan di bidang otomotif. Mungkin with most companies and our competitors as well, when it comes to utilizing technology, they always think, oh, I gotta make things more efficient for the end users. Meaning, and this is a very common thought process kan, dan juga bisa diperlakukan oleh di sektor-sektor lainnya, yaitu if I'm using technology, then I should cut a lot of the middleman. Karena end customers will always be beneficial, usually in a lot of sectors, if you cut the inefficiencies, which is the middleman. Nah, cuman kalau dengan Moladin sendiri, kenapa kita fokus di agent and dealer network? It's because we truly believe when it comes to a high amount of purchasing item, we believe that they do still need that human element and the human touch when it comes to purchasing used car. And hence, instead of eliminating the middleman, we shift our focus into scaling up and empowering these middlemen to serve better the customers. Jadi that's really the crux of Moladin business. Dan kita sendiri since 2021 have scaled up significantly as well, also thanks to platforms such as MoEngage. And now we have over 150,000 of agent and micro dealer network that is helping us to serve the end customers. Gitu. Jadi when it comes to customer engagement, this was back in 2021 karena at that time kita itu nggak punya aplikasi sama sekali. So when I first joined Moladin, I was the first person in the product team, and the task was actually very simple, which is to create an app and a digital ecosystem to onboard these dealers and agents so that they're able to serve better the customers. Now, one of the few challenges when you go deep into these segments, which is agen dan dealer rumahan, mereka ini adalah segmen yang very non-tech savvy. The analogy that I like to make to my team members, it's like Gojek drivers yang dulunya tuh the common behavior, kalau mau cari customer, mereka mangkalnya di pinggir jalan, right? They've never used an app, and their intuition has always been, oh, I just need to brute force my way into making money, which is waiting for customers at the side of the road. It's very similar actually to these car dealers dan agen-agen ini, karena behavior mereka itu ya, mereka cari customer lewat WhatsApp. Mereka cari mobil, supply juga lewat broadcast WhatsApp atau Facebook Marketplace. So their engagement has always been primarily offline, and it's very difficult to make them go to our app, let alone use our app gitu, on their daily behavior and habit kan. Jadi one of the main challenges when it comes to customer engagement is then how do you create sort of this feedback loop, di mana you get the customers, atau in this case our agents and our micro dealers, realize the value of using the app right then and there. So what we find out in the early days when we just started out the product development building adalah agen-agen atau micro dealer yang sign up di app kita, but we're not able to activate them within the first 3 days, then they're gone pretty much, because they're not able to realize the value of the app. So this comes to the second challenge, which is then how do you ensure that they're able to transact with your app within the first 3 days? So the second data point that we realize is the aha moment of our agents and micro dealers when they're using our app is really that easiness of being able to transfer money and to collect payments digitally via our app. Soalnya biasanya kalau mereka offline, kalau mereka mau transfer lebih dari 100 juta rupiah, biasanya tuh ada difficulties in the bank transfer. Karena usually will require, one day lewat SKN atau RTGS to disburse or to collect the money from customers. But with our app, what they're able to do is able to act more professionally, generate an invoice, collect money, and also even sort of tapping into Moladin's capital to purchase cars instantly, so that they're able to leverage on competitive car supply, then they can leverage on those opportunities to make money. That's really the aha moment, right? So then the game has always become on how do you make these users go into your app and quickly realize that they're able to extract these values. So just to recap, there are 3 goals and objectives when we're trying to iterate on the MVP of our app. Yang pertama itu what we called on the hook model. So the hook model is one of the simpler models when it comes to product building, where you acquire, it's like an infinity loop kan, if you think about it. Jadi you're acquiring users, on the left side is like a circle, and then after you acquire the users, you try to convert them into doing an action, getting into that aha moment quickly, in which after that they'll retain, and through the retention, they're able to hopefully even invite other users to go to your app, which can feed back into your acquisition loop. So it's an acquisition and retention loop that we called on the hook model. Jadi how then do you utilize this customer engagement platform to allow your digital app to do that? Secondly, is in order to create a sustainable hook model, you also need your users to advocate, to be the ambassadors for your brand. Karena if you know you're able to retain them and they're able to extract value from them, then how are you ensuring that they're able to then share this value to invite other users into your platform? Kalau di Moladin, with the advocacy program, we actually loop it into their transaction mode. Jadi what happened is that after every transaction, mereka sudah beli mobil melalui Moladin, they're able to do omnichannel sharing contohnya. And we do push these campaigns through Mo Engage as well, because we know that within a few hours of them purchasing a car, that's the sweet spot where they're able to use our omnichannel sharing to share it straight to their WhatsApp group and also to their Facebook marketplace. Jadi within one tap of a button, they're able to promote their cars through these different channels. Yang sebelumnya pain point mereka itu, I need to post on this WhatsApp group, I need to post on the Telegram, I need to go to my Facebook marketplace to then post it. But with one click of a button, we're able to leverage on the technology to then make them push all these sharing to the different omni-channel that we provide. Dan yang ketiga, then it's related also to this omni-channel communications, adalah once we have the hook model, yang goal yang akhirnya kita temukan itu, one of the challenges is that for all the new features, contoh waktu itu kita baru release omnichannel sharing, but none of the users understand how to use this feature. None of these users even know that we have a new feature. Jadi how do you then constantly re-engage with them to make sure that your new features are being adopted effectively? So through those goals and through these challenges, akhirnya we then chose to engage with Mo Engage to help us with these sort of omni-channel push, to help with us on the customer engagement program, in this case our dealers and makelars, to then help with the conversions. So with Moladin, kita dari awal, since we built out the product from scratch, we've been partnering up with MoEngage, and we've been using a lot of their features to engage with our agents, to engage with our micro dealers, to make sure that they're able to realize the value and get into the aha moment as fast as possible. Nah, when it comes to omni-channel approach di Moladin, hal yang pertama, one of the principles that we do adalah we send out these notifications that help them to convert across the transactional funnel. Jadi kebanyakan itu, what we realize adalah nowadays, if you go to your phone, a lot of the apps are sending you notifications, right? It's very hard to get their attention because we've been primed with push notifications that it's spam. Even now, with a lot of the new regulations, kayak contohnya di Play Store, you do need to ask active consent for your customers to actually turn on their push notifications. You can no longer, by default, just turn on push notifications. So that is one of the challenges that we needed to overcome. How do we create a new app yang orang juga nggak tahu value-nya apa, and have them actually turn on notifications? So one of the smart things that we did was that we completely utilized notifications from MoEngage, in this case, buat push notif in the first phase, to only send out notifications when it comes to their transactional journey. Jadi contohnya, in one of our transaction flow, kalau ada agen atau ada dealer rumahan mau beli mobil bekas, hal yang pertama akan dilakukan itu kita akan send inspektor untuk menginspeksi mobilnya for us to be able to appraise the car price. So when that happens, for example, when they already get an assignment from the inspector, kapan inspektornya akan datang, we just send it through the push notifications and the WhatsApp pushes. So therefore, they're primed that all of the notifications that Moladin sent out is really to help them get updates to move towards the next step of the transactional journey. So we actually never send pushes when it comes to promotional atau new features at the first iteration of our product launch. That really helps the customer to build habit that, hey, when I get a notification from Moladin, is actually helping me to move forward and get to that value and complete the purchase of my used car effectively. Now, the second point that I wanted to point out is that when it comes to customer engagement programs, a lot of times quality is really over quantity lah. Jadi one of the things that we did was this framework where we map out the single touch point where customers are usually prone to fail, meaning that we would look at our conversion funnel across the transaction journey, terus kita highlight di mana sih conversion funnel yang banyak orang akhirnya fail to continue with the process. So in this point of time, kalau di Moladin sendiri, one of the earlier conversion funnel where we see that people aren't able to proceed is when they're listing a car, which is very counterintuitive. Jadi this is surprising for us, right? The agent and micro dealers banyak banget yang drop off when they're listing a car because they're not able to complete the journey because they think it's too complicated for them just to list a car. So what we did was we utilized MoEngage, right, to know exactly when the agent and the micro dealer has dropped off. We then send them a push actually telling them a data point of how much their car might be priced at. So it actually helps them then to also realize the value, oh wow, with all the input fields that I filled out and I exit from the funnel, they're able to tell me how much my car is priced at. And actually with that, we're able to then resurrect users and bring them back to our funnel where then they're able to complete the listing journey. Karena once they complete the listing journey, then our own internal employees are able to then engage with them and help them complete the transaction. Tapi that's sort of the critical window where we do need them to complete the car listing So we do utilize on this customer engagement program and platform to really bring them back to our funnel to help them then complete the funnel itself. So the new process and solutions that we implement, yang pertama itu kita ada different personalized journeys for different sets of users. So we do automate different notifications and push journeys for them because each of our users have different use cases and tasks to be completed. Yang kedua juga for every new features now, we utilize on Mo Engage to help them learn about the new features. Jadi contohnya pertama kali mereka launch the app, they'll always see all of the new features that we have. On top of that, one of the things that we do even inside the funnel, contohnya dia klik ke new feature ini, we're able then to prompt a pop-up to tell them what are the benefits of using this feature. Because one of the early learnings that we had is that when you even create tutorial videos atau when you send a lot of newsletter notifications to them, they don't really understand what this new feature is for until they actually try it. So what is effective for our users adalah to actually give meaningful and effective prompts throughout the journeys of new features. Dan yang terakhir juga, how do we then really reduce the onboarding flow? How do we identify where people are dropping off exactly in which funnel and then trying to optimize that? Because when you're building a product, when you're trying to increase the value of the users and transactions, it's all about micro optimizations. It's the rule of 1%, right? A 1% improvement every day can compound to a huge impact in the future. And features and channels that we use to solve the problem, again, yang pertama itu whenever there's drop-offs, we would always re-engage them at the right moment. So not all drop-offs we re-engage. There are drop-offs that we think among usernya don't want to continue with the transaction. It's not because they're confused, or it's not because they don't know how to proceed, but they simply don't want to do the transaction. I think that's where we avoid to send notifications so that our notifications are still effective. Yang kedua, then how do you then do personalization to engage with the users? Jadi for us, the major personalization that we do adalah since we know the car that they're buying or they're selling, we're actually able to send them insightful information about the car. For example, hey, you know how many people are looking at your car right now? Or hey, with this car, there's a new model that's coming up. So, and this is what we did in December. So you should sell your car ASAP because once December is finished, the car prices will go down. And finally, we also use API or Event Trigger based to do automated notifications. Jadi contohnya kalau inspektornya udah ke-assign untuk agennya, we will send that notification. Jadi throughout our product journeys, we have mapped out the touch points in which we will send these effective notifications to help the user complete the journey. So this is what our in-app message look like and our push notifs. So every time they launch the app atau they go to a specific funnel, we do send them an in-app message. The push notif juga, we send push notifs across the journeys, across different journeys, and there's also a personalization element throughout the push notifications. Yeah. Then finally, in terms of results, kaya I think what is very impactful for us is really on the transaction funnel lah. Jadi it's really powerful because by even sending these micro messages, sending these nudges to help them complete the transaction funnel, it helps us to increase over 20% within our core transaction funnel. Yang kedua juga, what's important, especially for the product team, one of our OKR is always on new feature adoption. Karena our team has, built new features for several months, launched it out there, but the GTM has always been a challenge. And this happened when you're scaling as well because you're constantly releasing new features and customers are overwhelmed with the amount of new features that they need to learn. So we also utilize these personalized notifications and in-app pop-ups as well to then promote these new features and help them even complete the journeys of new features as well. So one of our rule right now within our product organization itu tiap kali ada fitur baru, one of the GTM strategies to look at the framework of personalized notifications to help them complete the end-to-end journey. In terms of CTR, we get 7% push CTR as well. Dan one of the most effective CTR yang kita lihat is using our in-app pop-ups. Jadi that's one of our go-to tool for product teams to really push the conversion funnel, push the new feature adoption. So that's all from my end. Hopefully you find this session helpful and happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Praz. Any questions for Pak Praz right here? Mungkin ada yang mau jual beli mobil? Yes, did someone have a question? Yes.
Hai Mas Praz, I'm Stephanie dari Zendit. Pertanyaan aku adalah terkait drop off rate-nya. Jadi kan di satu sales cycle itu pasti tiap-tiap stage dropnya kenapa akan beda-beda. I want to know kayak dari Moladin itu strateginya masing-masing seperti apa. And then second question, it might be a bit biased karena I'm from the payment, but what is the challenges that you face in terms of payments, especially kalau orang udah mau kelar check out, but then nggak jadi, itu biasanya kenapa? Is it about the payment atau gimana? Thank you.
Sounds good. In terms of the drop-off rates, there's when it comes to drop-off rates, when you look at conversion funnels, there's actually different benchmark lah in terms of conversion funnels. I think this you can Google or use ChatGPT to find a benchmark. But my mentor once told me when you're looking at the drop-off conversion funnel, there's a difference between observation and insights, right? So observation is saying, hey, you looked at this funnel, 90% of people drop off. Or through the data, you can see, hey, actually users drop off after we ask their BPKB or STNK number. That's in our case, that's actually where they drop off, right? Tapi an insight to that, that's an observation because we know that people are dropping off when they don't input STNK or BPKB. But the insight to that, where we dig deeper, is that they don't even trust the platform and hence they don't want to put the STNK or BPKB number because they don't know why they're putting it right then and there when they're only listing the car. So once we get to that insight, we're then able to take actionable next steps and concrete action items to then improve the funnel. But again, I think finding the insight and really asking why are people dropping off, that goes beyond the data and that really requires a deep dive into the issue. Now, secondly, mungkin in terms of payments, I think the main challenge now in terms of payments is the transfer of huge amounts of money. Jadi kalau di kita, kita kan transaksinya itu lebih dari ratusan juta rupiah. And it becomes an issue when we generate a payment link and we ask user to pay us 200 million, but then they cannot transfer 200 million because they have a limit in their bank. And one of the challenge for us is then we need to make our own split payment feature in which this 200 million, we need to split it up to several payments, tapi making sure that they do pay up the whole payment. Soalnya there are instances where they've already paid up 2 times, tapi they don't pay up the rest, so they're using it more as installments. So I think that's the main challenge when it comes to, I think, a big item purchase. It's really that transferring of huge payments of money lah, in one time.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. Can we have a mic? No, not you, Pak Praz. He'll go behind.
Thank you. Sebelumnya, perkenalkan saya Kamal dari Sirka. Presentasinya cukup menarik ya. Ada satu hal yang saya sangat tertarik dari bisnis mobil gitu kan. Bahwa seperti yang kita ketahuin bahwa bisnis mobil itu orang beli mobil nggak setiap hari kan, ataupun nggak setiap bulan, mungkin maybe setiap setahun sekali atau 5 tahun sekali gitu kan. Nah yang jadi pertanyaannya itu adalah gimana cara dari Moladin itu sendiri untuk re-engage user-user yang udah sign up, and then how mereka untuk bisa lagi purchase kembali gitu. Dan berapa lama durasinya untuk user-users yang udah join tersebut gitu. Dan setelah berapa lama pertimbangannya apa gitu mungkin. Thank you.
Yeah, very good question. Jadi emang I think one of the challenge when it comes to this type of purchase ya, I think this also kayak related to let's say real estate ya. Orang kan nggak beli mobil atau rumah kayak very frequently. I think one of the things that we ask ourselves, it's always in terms of prioritization juga. Kayak, is it actually the right time for you to engage with customers? Jadi in the early days, we just realized kayak it's not worth it for us to re-engage with customers. Even if we want to re-engage with customers, we don't have the product to re-engage with them. Jadi when we look in terms of prioritization, we deprioritize that. Tapi it actually becomes important to re-engage with customers when then we release a new product which is used car financing, di mana user bisa nyicil untuk beli mobil bekas. And when we release this product, what's very interesting adalah yang kita realize sebenarnya emang benar orang tuh nggak beli mobil that frequently. Tapi orang yang nyicil mobil, and when we call these persona a family man, starting out a family, right? Actually once a year they would have that thought, can I tukar tambah my current car right now? Because when it comes to used car, let's say now I have more kids, I need to grow the car size, I need to give more comfort to my family, they would actually seek into the tukar tambah mindset, which a lot of Indonesians don't actually get it. When you do tukar tambah and when you finance your car, you're actually able to walk away with money. Karena let's say you have paid your car full in cash. You want to get a better car. You're able to do installments on your new car and sell your old car with cash, pay the DP and actually receive money, and then can plan out your future to have better cash flow. Now that's something when we realize, this is the right time to actually now engage with customers. We engage with them every few months because there is a concrete use case to hook them back to our platform. But the main question is, I don't think it's wise for all platforms to force themselves to re-engage with customers if you don't know what's the end goal of re-engaging with these customers.
Thank you. Any more questions? I guess no more. Thank you so much.
Thank
Barbara.
you. Thank you everyone.